right, welcome to The Drift. We are going to take it down to Miami right now. And of course, the guy who's in Miami is Nick Cardoza. Sometimes goes by Mr. Yachts, which is his YouTube platform. He's building that up. But Nick, a couple of questions for you on the yachting industry, right? Where does it stand right now? How is yachting?
Reading the reports, like all the super yacht reports and just the boating reports in general, the build reports. It's been the busiest, most productive year ever in yachting since 2009. So it hasn't been bad for us in turn, for us brokers and for anybody
Right.
involved in boating and yachting. Yeah.
So, everyone always asks in the yachting business, can the average guy afford to lease a yacht, to take a yacht? And what would you consider a yacht? I mean, I'm sure the average guy's not going to get a 150-footer, but what would it take for the average Joe? Let's say he's got 3 or 4 couples together and they want to pursue it. What does he do? Where does he start? Besides calling you right away, where does he start?
Thinking about how much he would spend on a day having the time of his life or her life. How much that would cost, what your budget is for that. Now, if I said to you, hey, John, it's going to be sunny out tomorrow. How much are you able to cough up to have the best day of your life? Because
now, it would be the
usually
best
when
day
you're
of
out
your
on a
life,
boat,
obviously. Sure, it's the best day of your life. There's nowhere better to be. Absolutely.
of course, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it never really gets old because it's always different when you're out on the boat. Like, I'm like, wow, this is like the best day of my life, but I do this all the time. But it just happens over and over and over again. That rush never goes away.
Right.
But there's boats, there's styles and shapes and sizes for everybody, for every budget. So, and I often chuckle because I'll be on sometimes I'm on a large yacht. We'll be going under the bridge, and there'll be like a family or a group of friends coming on a little boat. And I don't have boat ego because I've been in the business for so long. I just want to be on a boat that delivers.
You were the guy at one point. You were
performance.
on that smaller boat, right? You get it. You didn't grow.
Yeah, when you're on a smaller boat, you're looking at the
Yeah.
big boat going,
Wow.
oh my God, that must be nice.
But there's always a
actually,
bigger boat.
Ironically,
There's always a bigger boat, right?
yeah, but it's just like, it's not even that. Big boats are great. I love big boats. But my boss, actually, one of my old bosses, he's like, I must have been like, I was younger, I was like kind of making fun, and he's like, don't make fun. They're having just as much fun as we are, maybe more, 'cause
That's
they're all
that's right.
together.
Yeah, it's fun.
They're
It's
all
true.
all like in their bathing suits, then you're on
Right.
a big yacht. And it's like, oh, you're wearing like nice clothes, and it's like, it's not really boating, it's like, it becomes something else. But anyway, that's just like a funny thing, just to downplay, I think, a little bit the big yacht scene. It's just it just becomes a little different after that. But where do you start? I don't know. I could take you out on a boat for, let's say, $800 to $1,500 for half a day. Let's say, if you get a couple guys. I mean, it's not a large boat,
All right.
but
So
you
how
could
large a
definitely
boat would
find
that
some of
be?
these.
Like let's say I've got a couple. I'm down in
I mean,
Miami. I've got 4 guys. I want to go out for a
on
half
the lower
a day.
end, yeah, on the low end, you could pick up one of these center consoles on one of these sites like that you don't get a captain, you're driving the thing around yourself kind of thing. I mean, you can rent boats for cheap. Now, when it comes to fully crewed charters, you're probably going to be starting in the range of like 1,500 for a half day and up, and you're going to get like a Sea Ray, 40 something foot Sea Ray maybe for half day, and it's plus tax
That's
and tip. But
I mean,
cruising.
40. Yeah, you're styling and profiling on a 40-something's foot
Oh,
Sea Ray, right?
absolutely. I
Going
mean,
up the river.
you bring 6
Sure.
to 8 people on a boat like that,
Right.
and you're
That's
having a
good
great
time.
time. And if you chop it up, now remember what I said. It's like you have to like quantify how much you'd spend in a day having a great day. Well, let's say you're in Miami Beach and you want to go to one of these hotels like Fountain Blue or Soho House, or I don't know, one of these hotels where there's action, right? SOS. There's plenty of them here. I don't want to name them all. I feel bad. It's like, who do you give credit to? No. The the bill's not going to be cheap. The restaurant, the food, the drinks, everything is going to be expensive at the end, and it's probably going to come out to be a couple $100 a person if
Yeah.
you're there for the whole day.
So then
It's
you're
probably
tipping.
going to be how much a boat is going to be.
So you have a crew on that boat, or do you just have a captain, maybe a one mate, depending on the side of the boat? Now you have to trip. You have to tip them as well, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to tip, but if you ever want to go back out on a boat again, the
It's
crew talks. You probably want to take
yeah.
care of them.
You might want to tip. Absolutely. So that's like a day. That's you down with you're in Miami with the boys. You might be in Miami with the ladies on a bachelorette party, and you want to do something. So you hook up the boat and you do the boat for a day. So let's talk about 2 or 3 couples. I want to charter to the Bahamas for a week. Is it affordable? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. But I just want to tell you something. I see more bachelorettes renting boats than I see guys like.
Yeah, what's up with
bachelor-
that? I know.
I don't
You
know.
see them going down the river. It's just
I'm like-
loaded up with a bunch of babes in
so
the same
funny,
color
like-
bikinis, right?
You would think it's the other way around, right?
Right,
Like,
right,
you'd think
yeah.
like guys would rent these boats. So it's like bachelorettes are probably like the biggest demographic for charter boats, and I love it. I'm like, man, I love these girls, man.
Yeah,
These are
especially
awesome.
if you're the captain on that one, right? It's not a bad gig, not a bad day on the water.
Yeah.
All right, so like a
Renting a
couple,
boat to
right?
Bahamas.
So three couples. You want to do a week on the Bahamas. What do you do? What do you rent? How do you go about that?
Okay, I come across this a lot. First of all, if you're going to charter in the Bahamas, go to Bahamas and charter. You don't really want to charter from Miami. It's close, but it ain't that close. You don't want to be riding on the boat for 6 to 8 hours.
So then you're acting like a real owner, right? You don't. Yeah, the owners aren't on those things when they're underway. They'll take the
Right.
helicopter in and meet it at the destination, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, you probably will tone it down a little bit if you're renting, but I would say that look, Bahamas is close, and it's close enough that if you own a boat, you can overnight there, or you can send the boat there and fly in and meet it the next day, or even in a few hours, whatever, right? But it's very difficult to charter a boat here, then spend more in fuel than what the boat rental costs to get a boat over
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So first of all, if you want to charter in Bahamas, find a boat that's in the Bahamas to charter. It's going to be a lot cheaper by probably like 30%. I mean, it's a huge difference.
Let's just take the Bahamas as example. All right, so I charter a boat in the Bahamas. I go down. I have the boat. Do I port hop, or what do I do? Let's again using the Bahamas as an example. What do I do? Where do I go? How many stops? Let's say a week.
Yeah. So Bahamas is like it's big enough that let me compare it to something in New England, right? It's like Bahamas is like Nantucket to New York City and like everything in between. So there's different parts of Bahamas. You've got the Exumas, which is down in the south. You've got all the way out east where Harbor Island is, Eleuthera, and you've got just like different islands in between, and then of course where Nassau is pretty central.
All right,
And,
so
you've just got tons of islands. So yeah, you'd fly into Nassau. It's the big island. It's where Atlantis is. That's where all those new big hotels are. That's where the big airport is. You'll go through customs, and there's a couple of big marinas there, and you'll meet your boat there. And from there is like when your trip will start, because from there it's like, well, now you're kind of like, let's say in Newport, Rhode Island, and now you can go either way, and everything's
Right.
kind of equidistant. Okay.
So I get a guy like you. So what I do in advance, that's all laid out in advance, I would imagine. And through a guy like you,
Yeah.
through a broker, and so you say, okay, this is what I suggest. Here's where I've been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. Here's what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and that itinerary is set before I even get to the boat, I would imagine.
Yeah, so typically when you're looking for a boat, you got to lock in the dates. It's very similar to booking a flight. So there's a finite amount of boats, and they're all owned privately, so the owners use them. and they do other charters. So we've got to find a window where we find a boat that suits your intended purpose during that time that you have off, that you're able to actually be out on the water for a week or for however long you want to be out there for. So that's the first thing. Find your dates. Then you choose what type of boat,
Right.
sail, catamaran, big
Hmm.
yacht, whatever. And then, then you want to go start once you pick the boat and you get that all worked out, negotiate all that good stuff. Then you're going to work on an itinerary pretty much with like you'll get introduced to the crew and start talking to the captain and the broker and start suggesting different things to do and
Mm.
obviously work with the chef to come up with the decent like with a menu that
Ah, the
everybody's
chef.
happy
Sure.
with.
Right.
So that's actually I was a chef, so I can tell you that's actually a big part of
Food.
the
Right.
charter
Yeah.
is the culinary experience. Yeah, and people's allergies and likes and
Mm.
dislikes and so and it's totally fine. Like if somebody doesn't like fish and then somebody doesn't, eat meat, someone's a strict, vegan, like the chef should be able to take care of everybody individually, like at the same time. So that's also, something special about being out on a yacht charter versus, let's say, a hotel is, hotels have their restaurants and of course they're quite limited to the menu. Um, but when you have a private chef, they are very skilled uh, um, people, and they can cook you pretty much anything, and they'll go provision beforehand and make sure that you're well fed throughout.
All right.
So
So
yeah, so
you.
then you'll choose.
So the price is going up already.
The price is definitely going up.
The
Yeah,
price is going up.
that's not 1,500
Right.
bucks a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So all
That's
right.
1,500 bucks a day for the chef.
So you've been in this business for a long while. You've been everywhere. All of the top yachting areas around the world. What would you again? Average guy. I mean, the guy's a little above average if he's renting a yacht with three couples for a week. But where would you suggest? What do you think is if you weigh in everything, the best deal, best
Okay,
boats, the whole
that's
deal?
that's a stacked question. So hold on a
Hmm.
minute. First of all, go somewhere you haven't been. I don't think
Good.
there's anything more beautiful in this world than seeing new stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, if you've been to San Tropez, even if it's like not chartering, like if you've been to
Mm.
Sardinia, if you've been to Mykonos, try Montenegro. Like,
Mm.
do something different. The best deals, yeah, that's going to be seasonal and it's going to be economical and it's going to be, there's all these different factors, right? That's why you would talk to a yacht broker instead of trying to go on your own and looking for, boats on your own because you won't really be able to find out or know the inside scoop. The best deals are when charters get canceled
Ah.
and they're trying to fill that spot.
Are there
That's going to
places
be
you
the
can
best deal.
go? Are there companies you can go to that sort of specialize in that? Like, hey, I've got to go in a month because
No,
this
no,
thing
no.
got canceled,
Yeah.
or is it just it doesn't work that? There aren't
So,
discount fares in yachting.
well, that's pretty much what it is, right? It's like
Hmm.
so. All the big yacht brokerage houses in the world have this like we have this broadcast system internally, right? So we all talk to
Okay.
each other on a brokerage level, right? So every morning, I mean, yeah, I hear people say I have like yeah I get hundreds of emails a day, and I'm like, it wasn't until I started working for
Mhm.
this brokerage house that yes, I also get hundreds of emails every day, and throughout the day, I'm actually like just trying to get to inbox zero, but like there's a lot of information in there. There's sales, there's listings that just come on the market, off the market. There's charters, new central listings because people are trading boats all the time. So, you know, the owner that just sold his boat that used to charter that boat out might have sold it to somebody who no longer wants to charter it, and then vice versa. So, yeah, there's all these like different kinds of things that happen on a daily basis that affect, the charter market and its inventory.
Mhm.
But so back to the place,
Yeah.
there's obviously some favorite places to be going yachting, right? And that's going to be the places that are well known that where you see a lot of boats. So of course, like over here in the Western Hemisphere and the Caribbean, you've got. I shouldn't even go down this. This is like a rabbit hole. What are you doing to me, John? There's so
Right,
many
right.
places.
All right, all right, all right. Your
I mean, I don't.
favorite,
I don't.
but not your
I don't want
favorite,
to.
as in money is no object. Your favorite for a guy, again, the guy's, he's three or four couples, 8 people. They're on a boat,
All
and
right. So
they don't have
I'll
a
tell you what
ton of
I want to
dough.
do.
It's not unlimited.
I'll tell you
Hmm.
what I want to do. I am by no means someone who should be chartering yachts, right? But I am in the business, and I do find really good deals. Sometimes, like, extraordinarily good. And I'm hoping to find one for my birthday in March. And there's a couple here and there, and I've got a couple of friends that will, carry most of the weight, right? In order to get, that deal
Carry
and get
most
us
of the
all
weight
set
is
up, and
in
it's
the money weight. Carry the
right.
dough weight.
Yeah, yeah, it's heavy, man, carrying all that gold.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It must be.
No, but so I'd like to rent it. I mean, if I were to charter a boat, it'd be a sailboat, probably down in the French West Indies. I do enjoy the French West Indies a lot. I
Hmm.
like Saint Martin. I like Saint Bart's. I like the little islands nearby, like Nevis and Saint Kitts
Mm,
and
nice.
Saba. They've got
Sure.
some of the best diving in the world, especially Saba, because it's a volcanic island. There's no sand, and so there's no runoff on the entire island. You can see like a couple 100 feet down when you're scuba diving there, and you can see well farther down than where you can go with a regular tank of air, for example. And I remember I was diving there one time and I was down 100 feet, and I could see another 300 feet down, and I could see the different layers of aquatic wildlife. And I remember seeing this like huge shark just like going, man.
Yeah, that's
And he was
cool.
down there. I wasn't scared. He was like so far away, but like wow, the water was so clear. It was so clear, it's
Hmm.
unbelievable. But yeah, so I'm the more adventurous type. That changes from time to time. Sometimes I like to be in the scene. You want to be in Saint Tropez,
Right,
chilling on my
right,
yacht, whatever.
right.
But
Yeah.
I really like, I'm also the type of person who will be, I'll go to the Amazon for like a couple of weeks. I love that stuff. So when it comes to yacht chartering, I like to get down and dirty. There's great places like Dominica, which they call like the last Caribbean island. It's like it's pretty undeveloped. There's a ton of fruit everywhere. It's like lush. It's amazing. Then you go. You've got gosh, what's the name of these places now? I'm drawing a blank. But there's all these islands all the way up from South America all the way up to pretty much Cuba and the Bahamas. And but then there's places like the DR and Puerto Rico and those are fantastic places to go. They're very luxury and high end. Like Dominican Republic has some great
Hmm.
yachting resources there,
So what's that gonna
and so on and so
what's that
forth.
gonna cost me? So let's say, and what size? What size? But let's talk power yacht. Let's talk motor
Yeah.
yacht.
Okay.
So
So
what's
so
that? A
if you
hundred
I broke
footer,
this
a
down.
150 footer? What do you think?
So check it out. Like here, I actually I'll tell you what. I actually looked this up
Okay, great.
not too
It's cool.
long ago
Hmm.
because I have a friend of mine that's like, I want to find a sailboat. I want to go sailing. So I actually pulled up this morning, just by coincidence, um, that charter thing for March actually. So where is this here? I got this
Okay.
link here. Give me one second. Um, but yeah, I think like 65 to 60, 70 foot
So
sailboat.
that's
Let's
good.
say I
Like
think for a week.
three couples, plenty of there are three staterooms
Yeah,
on
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And
I'm gonna just come in here. I have this whole list. Jeez. Okay. So here's one called it's an Orion 90, right? It's a 90
hmm,
footer. And this boat I want to say was shoot, where was it? Now I'm like out of my MLS, so it doesn't say the
okay.
price on it. I don't know what's going on here. Uh, do you have time? I'll pull this
Yeah,
up
I
real
have
quick.
time. Go
It's
ahead.
kind of cool.
Pull it up.
Quick comparison. Okay, I do have it. Great. Wonderful. All right. So we got like that 90-foot catamaran is, high season 57,000, and you got low season 46. Then you got an
How many days
82
is that? How many is it? A week, 7 days,
per
5
week.
days?
So these, yeah. So it's seven. It's a week. Yeah, it's 7 days.
Okay.
But let's say it goes something like a little bit newer, 79-footer. That's gonna run you like 35,000 for like a 2013 like Oyster, really nice boat. And I mean, I don't know if I could how to show this to you, but this is a nice boat, right? You want to be on this boat, and you could bring three couples. So I mean, if you break it
Right.
down by price, let's say year
10,000 a
round,
couple for
30
yeah. So it's
exactly.
3 couples, 10,000 plus a couple for the boat, and then what else on top of that?
So no,
So
so if you do the math on it, right? It's. I mean, it sounds like a lot. You're like, well, that's a lot, but a lot of people don't think about that. That's kind of like what a really nice vacation is going to cost.
sure, right. Yeah.
A lot of people, uh,
So I guess that's but
you know,
that's the boat, right? What
yeah.
what else am I paying for? So let's just do the math. So I'm in
Yeah, so
35
that's
for the
that's
boat.
1,400 a day. Let's call it 1,500 to cover expenses and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, if you're in a really nice hotel, it's going to cost you a couple hundred a night,
Right.
300 a
Sure.
night, and then all your activities, your eating, whatever, like recreational stuff you're doing. I mean, it adds up. I mean, look,
Hmm.
it's an expensive vacation. I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't want to sound like everybody can do this, but
Right.
I save up all year so I could do something like this because I I don't know how to stress this enough. For me, I mean, I love yachting, so there's nothing I'd rather be doing, but
Right.
you do something like that, you will never, ever, ever forget it. It is
Hmm.
that much fun. So, people spend that and go to Burning Man. So I don't know what the
Yeah.
difference is.
All right. So I have the boat. All right. So all right. I'm getting together with my friends here, and I'm saying, okay, we're going to plan this vacation. It's 35 grand for the boat, and then what? So now I have a crew. Does that? It's the boat and the crew. That's not
Yeah.
provisions,
So
right?
yeah. So you're gonna pay for your food and your drink because there's no way to quantify that, right?
All right. So I bring
No.
some
So you've got to
provisions.
pay. We charge what we call an APA. It's an advanced provisioning
Okay.
allotment, so or allowance, right? So that'll generally cover fuel burn. It'll cover any costs in the port. Like, let's say you got to pay for dockage for
Hmm.
transient dockage for the night. If you're island hopping, you're gonna have to pay for marinas along the
Okay.
way. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
there's no set rate for that. It's pretty much first come first serve. And if you're one of the last ones, you got to pay up. So, and then of course food. So and you can tell the chef like, listen, we're just gonna eat mahi and salad for a week, and your
Right.
food bill will probably be just a few $100, right? Because
Yeah.
that's pretty
Because you're
cheap.
gonna right at your ports. You're gonna probably want to eat in some restaurants there and do all
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you'd basically just be like, you're basically telling them to go to the grocery store. You're giving them a shopping list of what you want them to
Hmm.
buy and what
Okay.
type of food you want to eat throughout the trip, and they're gonna go buy it. So there's no upcharge on food. It's just you're just paying for the ingredients. I mean, you're paying the charter, and the chef is getting paid for what they do, and that's why if you tip the chef really well, say, hey, by the way,
Gonna hook
really
you up.
thanks for taking care of us. They're going to be making you some really
Right.
creative, nice food. I used to do that. I was a chef on a charter boat, and yeah, I'd meet these really cool people that were just like, wow, this is so cool. Like, the first charter. And I could tell they were just like blown away by it. So I would just do the best I could do to just blow them away. I'd bring them stuff even when they weren't ordering. Just like, hey, try this. I was making this up for you. It's cool.
All right. So that number is what? That provision number is what? So we're at the 35. We
So
add to
that's
that.
that's going to be 30% of the base price. Let's say.
So it's another 10 grand.
Uh, so it's another 10 grand, but it's whatever portion is unused goes back to you. It's
Right.
it's like
All right.
yeah.
So I'm at
So
45, and I'm on a
so you have
whatever a
45.
90 footer for a week. I'm at 45 with 3 couples. What else? What else is hidden charges, other costs?
No, there's none.
No.
I mean, you gotta pay tax depending on where you are. Sometimes there's no tax,
Hmm.
but if you charter in like a free trade zone, yeah, then there's not going to be any
Right.
tax. But
Okay. Tip for the crew when that's done. Typically,
tip is
what's the crew consist of on a 70 to 90 footer for a week?
probably anywhere from 2 to 3 people. Depending on what kind of boat it is. So, but the tip's going to be again a percentage of the charter.
All right.
So that'll be 10 to 20%. People's try to be around 15, 18, 20. So so you're.
So I'm at
You're a couple
$50,000.
thousand there.
I'm at $50,000
You're 50,
for a 70 to 90 footer a week for 3 couples. I could probably put 4 couples on that, right? Depending on what it would, depending
The
on
bigger
how much
you
they
go,
lose.
yeah, for sure,
Right.
for sure. Like, there's and some of the motor yachts they've got 5 cabins, so you could put, 5 couples on, 4 couples.
So
all day.
it's 10 grand a couple. It's 10, 12 grand a couple, all in, food, floating hotel, incredible destinations, 7 days on the water.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty reasonable budget to get started in like yacht chartering, like mega yacht charter, the luxuries type where you've got people, taking the toys out for you when you want to go for a swim. Here's a
Right.
towel. Would you like some cocktails? Like now the white glove service, I think it's not a bad budget to be around. You could probably find some better deals here and there on some older boats, which are not bad by the way. Older boats are just fine. Some of them,
Right.
as long as you like the style and the boat smells good inside and it's not like used up and beat up, you're fine. I mean, it's really about the experience. It's not really about how new or whatever the boat is. Some people love to just go crazy with the yacht charters, but I'm like, look, just get something that is nice, decent. It makes you feel good, and that's good. And I think that's not an unreasonable budget to start with.
All right, what's the next step for a guy who wants to do that? What does he do? He wants to try this. What does he do? Does he contact you? Does he find a local broker? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter if you go with a local broker or not, because the crew and the boat are gonna know. It's kind of like it's a funny question. I mean, I guess somebody down here, like myself in Miami and Bahamas, would know more than the guy in Greece, right?
Good point.
What does he
Right.
know about
Depending
the
on
Bahamas
where you,
and
right,
vice versa?
depending on where you're going, right?
Yeah, so I mean, but that's what makes a good yacht broker, and it's funny. Like I find myself growing with my clients too, right? So when I first started out in yachting, I was hanging out in yachting areas and building a network
Sure.
that would later help me serve my clients. Like I'd be like, well, you can go over to Porto Cervo and you ask for my guy over there. He'll take care of you for this, for that, for the other, like whatever you need. And so I've got friends that I know since I'm a kid and ports all over the place that, they can help my guys, have a nice charter experience.
Yeah, it's always good to know a guy. I know a guy. Go see. Yeah, right. That works.
Yeah, you got to know a guy.
Yeah, you
So
got to
with
know
all
a
the
guy.
technology in the
I got a
world,
guy.
you still need to know a guy.
You got a guy. You got to have a guy, and it's got to be a guy on that island who knows that island, right? I got a guy.
gotta
Don't worry
be.
about it. Yeah,
It's got to be an island guy.
that's right, man. All right, Nick Cardoza. I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I'll let you know how it goes. But if I can do it, and if I can find 3 other couples that'll pony up, I'll definitely be giving you the call.
Hey, I'll shoot some stuff over your way. You never know. I'll tell you one thing to leave on a note. If you really want the best deal, you want to shop in the shoulder season. The shoulder season is going to be when winter's ending and summer's beginning and ending and fall's beginning. So that's when typically the boats are doing their transatlantics or their north to south migrations, right?
Makes sense.
And so you want to catch one of these boats, right? Like, let's say you want to do a trip in the islands, and you want to hit a few different islands. You're likely to get the best deal, like when these boats are on their way to another destination. You're like basically hopping on for the ride. Here's a little extra cash. We want to charter.
It's sort of like in jet.
Like,
it's sort of like in jet charter. If you can find the empty jet that needs to, find somebody ride it out in an empty leg. Sure. All right, Nick Cardoza. Our
Yeah.
man in Miami, our yacht man in Miami, Mr. Yacht. Thanks for the advice, and as always, we'll
Yeah.
be checking in with you again, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.